Welcome back to our halftime coverage of a Celtic State of Mind's match day, Celtic versus St Johnstone. And if anyone's not been watching along or just tuning in now to find out what's happening, the mighty Celtic are leading 3-0 versus St Johnstone of Perth in Scotland. Could have been, and probably should, hard to tell really, 4-0. Kyogo, should he have had a hat-trick or not? Lawrence, what do you reckon?
Tell you what, they must have been using different images that they showed us, because I can't tell anything from that image. It looks like it might be over. You see the goalkeeper's behind the line, or his hands behind the line, don't know. Does it feel ball cross the line? Don't know. What images they've used, who knows? But I'm surprised that VAR decided it wasn't a goal for Celtic. No. Did I fully expect the goal not to be awarded? Yes. Did I expect them, not to produce any images that would show either way whether right or wrong? Yes. I suppose that's the problem with VAR in Scotland. Have some accountability, show the images, let's see what you're seeing. Why is it a secret? But yeah, Kyogo, he starts. I think he's justified his start position. Hatate's looked decent at right back, a goal scoring right back. Happy days. He's not looked out of place there. 5 shots on target, 3 goals, potentially another one. So we've definitely upped our conversion rate. So yeah, a lot to be happy about on Christmas Eve.
We have been more clinical. Martin Heaney says, we're all the Kyogo haters now, and Kyogo has been great, to be honest. I think if you credit him with that one, but the one that was maybe over the line, then you'd say he scored 3 from 4 chances. And if you don't credit him, that's 2 from 4, which is still pretty good. And a comment that's coming up, and something we talked about off air quite a lot, Lawrence, was our Australian player who's playing at left attacking mid today, which was an interesting. We were quite surprised. The Hatate one was a surprise, but in the sense, when the team was announced, but we knew before kickoff that's what was happening. But then when the teams came out and Aaron Moy was at left attacking mid, that was quite a surprise. And I think what we've seen was the kind of good and the bad of Aaron Moy. So we've got Andrew Vam here saying Moy looking great, and then you've got Lupe33 saying Moy is so frustrating. So we were both expressing either side of that argument today as well. We were watching that game where, Moy gets the yellow card where he gets caught in the ball. Andrew Galea's calling me on that. Sean doesn't like Moy. It's not that I don't like Moy, it's that I don't like how he gets caught in possession so often, and that happened today, and he cost himself a yellow card. But he is and was absolutely surgical with his passing today so far, and we've had both the great and the bad side, in my opinion. Lawrence?
Yeah, I wouldn't expect to see him for the second half. He's on a yellow. Don't let's risk anything. We're 3-0 up. Get Turnbull on. But this, that's a real bad touch that we let himself get caught with. He should be keeping that ball closer to him. He's got to know there's somebody going to press him. He knows himself he's not the quickest. He puts himself in all kinds of trouble and he picks up a yellow. Don't give the ref a chance to send him off. Just sub him off at half time, get Turnbull on. Happy days. He's had some decent balls forward. Yeah. We know he can do that. We know he can unpick a defence and pick a man out. Or he had a decent cross in. We probably should have done better for him as well. So, it's been the good and the bad of him. Silly yellow card to give away. Listen, don't hurt the team. Don't leave him on. Get him off. Get Turnbull on. Don't give the ref a chance to sign him off, because I'm pretty sure if he has a tackle, it won't even need to go to bar review for the ref to sign him off.
Someone that's not been mentioned in the comments yet, but what have you made of O'Reilly's performance so far? He's had he got an assist on the board, but he's also had a couple of bad passes, and he's been really playing very central for someone who's allegedly a right attacking mid. James Dunn reckons get him off, which is interesting. What do you say, Lawrence?
So he's lost possession a few times. Some of that's down to he's trying a hard pass. He's trying to pass that unlocks at the fence. If that goes through and it's not cut out, the striker's in. Been a bit slack at times, but all in all, he's been decent. We're 3-0 up. It's half time. I think he's been all right. but I'd be more worried about keeping Moylan just for the fact he's on the yellow card. So yeah, I'd leave O'Reilly on.
On the subject of players carrying yellow cards, we've got Carter Vickers in one after he took a tactical foul against Stevie May. Would you be considering Bosun Lawwell as a substitute, given that we're now 3-0 up and the game is not over, but the win's in the bag? Again, James Dunn mentioned give Lawwell some time.
Maybe not at half time, but if it's 20 minutes to go, yeah, consider it. Yeah, put Monaco 3-0 or more up at that point. Interesting thing, logic. It's a foul on May. You're going right, fair enough, yellow card. But 41, there's a similar foul on Maeda. Maeda, though, after the foul manages to hit the ball and go straight to St John's keeper. There's no advantage to Celtic. The ref doesn't blow for the foul, or else he'd have been booking to St Johnstone. Yeah. And yet, very similar challenges by the players, but St Johnstone got off with one, and Vickers gets a yellow card. But yeah, it'd be nice to see Law get some time if it's the same way about 20 minutes to go. Yeah, get him on and give him some time on the park.
And how do you think the performance of Hatate has muddled up our fight for number one right back amongst the 4 players now, apparently, that we've got on the books? He scored the opening goal, and how's he played overall?
It was funny, we were just chatting when we signed him. We weren't sure whether he was going to play full back or midfield. He's not looked out of place, has he? He's covered up well defensively. He's linking up going forward, and he scored a cracking goal to open the scoring. So, yeah, obviously, Ange knows that he can play full back. So all the speculation and the chat online of was it McGregor, is it back 3 and all that, yeah. For Ange, was it a different decision? It's been justified. Much like the inclusion, I think, of Kyogo starting. It's another couple of goals, as you said. It could have been a hat-trick. So, yeah, it could have been improving on his stats if he got a hat-trick. But another 2 goals for Kyogo. He's looking more like the old Kyogo, isn't he? Maybe that goal midweek helped. But, yeah. I think this is what it suits him as well. St Johnstone have opened up a bit more than our last 2 oppositions, haven't they? We have had more to go, so there's been a bit more room for us to play in. And maybe this is why the other opposition managers didn't do it, because they didn't want to be 3-0 down at half time, the game over.
Yeah, and you'd think Jim Goodwin might be watching this, or he's probably not, because he's got a home game in like an hour. But he's probably watch it back later, and he'll be kind of having a wry smile to himself, thinking, yeah, this is what does happen when teams do come out and have a go at Celtic. And they have been, in the sense that they have been pressing 3 men forwards with a kind of a relatively medium to high press. So I wouldn't call the game open per se, but Matt O'Reilly has been getting time. He's not. You could argue he should be making more of that, but Aaron Moy has been making more of that, and I think Maeda has done a really good job getting in behind, and James Forrest has done a good job not getting in behind, but I'm saying that after he got a goal cutting in behind, but he's actually more often than not been coming inside and finding passes. But he did find Kyogo for that 3rd goal when he got in behind on the Aaron Moy pass as well. So, and that's what we talked about, like that Aaron Moy has got that real X factor with his through ball in behind. And then that 3rd goal, I think, kind of summed up the performance of the half. Yeah, it's been a really good half so far, and it's not as much as it's not game over. I'd say we do have the 3 points in the bag. What are you looking for in the second half?
Second half, it's just more of the same. Don't get Moy booked. We'll probably need him for a mixed game. So I'm looking at that and going, yeah, take him off and save him. It'd be nice to see Law get some time apart. Maybe Turnbull get some time as well. But yeah, it's just more of the same. We're looking back to the kind of unstoppable force again, aren't we? We're looking back to we never stop, and yeah, it's 3-0. It looks like it's going to be a comfortable afternoon now. Not without its VAR controversies. I mean, how often did they look at one of those goals? For offside over a minute. I thought the technology picked this up. I thought automatically put the lines over. What were they looking for that took over a minute? I can't quite see the lines or something. I don't know. Were they faxing the image over?
Yeah, that's a great point. great point, because the Celtic versus Motherwell game, when they adjudged our goal to be offside, they had it like that with the camera from the surface of the moon. But today they couldn't figure it out after 5-6 replays where it was clearly onside of the 2 Celtic goals. To me, it almost feels like they're reviewing it to try. They're trying really hard to find a way to chop it off rather than to look for a clear and obvious error. It does kind of feel like that at times.
We're told, the line's going straight away, bang, and we can tell.
And Kyogo standing there,
what he's
Kyogo saying, "Come on, let's get going."
Yeah. Get a felt tip. I don't know. It's just absolutely crazy how long it's taken, and then we'll get a minute injury time. So we've had three goals, and we'll have 4 goal checks. Shall we say 30 seconds ago? So we've had 4 delays for VAR, and it's only adding up to a minute. There's been a few injuries. Yeah, they're having a laugh, aren't they?
I'd say so. In a comment here from Rob Piedmont that I starred earlier, Starfelt has been excellent as well. I did mention to you during the game that there was a cutback from St Johnstone where his positioning was absolutely fantastic, and it basically cut out a clear goal scoring opportunity. But to be fair, other than that, I don't know how much else he's had to do. And there was a couple of times where not a couple of times, I'm being unfair there. One time where he had to play a left-footed pass, and Greg Taylor had to cover half the pitch covering for it. But what did you make of his performance, Lawrence?
Yeah, it's been solid. He's not had a lot to do, is he? Let's be honest. But that one you're talking about, cut out well and just get rid of the ball up the park, didn't he? It wasn't taking any chances. It was good to see. It was the right decision to make. He wasn't attempting to pull that down the box and play out. He was just like, what, a bit of danger here, just get this clear. So yeah, Starfelt's been solid. As you say, there's not been too much to do at the back, for centre halves. So yeah, it's all about Celtic again, and of course a wee bit about VAR, because the delays, goodness knows why it takes them so long to make the decisions.
Would you say we're
goal or not goal? There's no images to show either way. You're going, you know what's going on. You watch in other countries and you get an image and go, look, that's why the decision's getting up here. It's just like, trust the refs. They've got it right.
Would you say we're back to our best? Would you say we're firing? Would you reckon that this is a result of Andrew Postecoglou absolutely lighting a fire under some players? Do you reckon he's given the sort of Alex Ferguson treatment? What do you think's happened to kind of make a much more entertaining game today than we've had in the last 2 games?
There's a few things that play. Definitely Ange wasn't happy. He said so much publicly. Big factor is St Johnstone have come out and tried to play football against us. They've left spaces by doing that. They haven't just packed behind the ball like Livy and Aberdeen. That's helped. The finishing's got a lot better. We're taking a much higher percentage of chances. So, look at that game against Livy. We probably had more chances in the first half across the 6-yard box against them. But, we were 2-1 at half time, we're 3-0 here. So, I think, those 3 things will probably play our way back to our best. Not yet, but hopefully the second half we can, and never mind kind of Santa's sleigh lighting up the night sky and Christmas Eve, it'll be Ange ball. So yeah, let's hope this second half brings another 3 goals.
Do you think there's a case to be made that as a fan collective that we're being overcritical of our lack of clinical finishing, and that when another team experiences a patch of poor finishing that they drop points, and we have yet, despite that, continued to win? Do you think we're being overcritical in that sense?
So it's definitely been critical. So we're kind of just looking at the good and the bad on it. Are we being overcritical? I wouldn't say so, but are people losing a wee bit of perspective? Both the people that are listening to criticism saying, well, how can you be doing that? You're 16 out of 17 wins. Well, you can only judge on the game that you're watching as well. You've got to say, well, look, that we're not taking enough of their chances. And they might think we're being harsh, but I think it goes back to Angie's we never stop mantra. We always want to be looking at ways of improving. The minute we stop going, well, you know what? It's all right, we're taking 5% of our chances because we're winning. You're not trying to improve then, are you? So I think it goes back to that. And I think sometimes maybe people are, I don't know, take umbrage at criticism. They shouldn't, you know. It's just an opinion on it. Well, just look, you know, we think we should be scoring more goals. Listen, if they're happy with converting so little chances, that's up to them. I'm not. I think we should be scoring more, and we need a better forward.
Right, I'm going to pause you there, Lawrence. The teams are out, and as Autumn Glow said, second half, let's go. So hopefully you can join us all back at full time for after a few goals, Kyogo hat trick, and hopefully we'll won 5 or 6 now at that point. Okay, see you guys at full time.